I just got a call about 2:30 this morning that the facility was on lockdown. Don't go into work today.
Right now at 5, shock and sadness after 2 people were shot and killed at a ROUNDY'S warehouse in Oconomowoc. The suspected gunman later taking his own life after crashing during a police pursuit. The investigation into this shooting taking place in 2 communities about 30 minutes apart from each other. Mary Jo Ola standing by in the suspect's hometown of Wauwatosa. We'll begin with Sarah McGrew and the latest from the scene of the crime in Oconomowoc. Sarah?
The 2 victims' names haven't been released yet, but a spokesperson with the local union says that the 2 victims and the suspect were all longtime members of the union and employees here at ROUNDY'S. He says they all knew each other and worked together for 20-plus years.
As individuals, we go to work and we assume we're going to come home every night. And that will not happen for a couple of employees.
A tragedy unfolded overnight after a shooting at the ROUNDY'S Oconomowoc distribution center. Police say they first responded around 10:30 Tuesday night. Initially, they thought it was an industrial accident, but soon realized it was the scene of a deadly shooting.
I think everybody right now that's involved is they're confused, right? And how could this happen? Why could it happen? But like I said, we may never know.
He and other members now grieving the loss.
It's a big family. And we all have our differences. We all have our opinions. But you work alongside each other every day. And you get to know each other. You get to know their families.
He says the suspect was a co-worker of the victims. The motive is unknown at this point.
That's what the authorities will determine. You know, and in these type of situations, there may never be a determination, right? We don't know what triggers a person to reach that point. We'll let the authorities do their job.
ROUNDY'S released a statement earlier today saying the entire ROUNDY'S family offers our thoughts, prayers, and support to the families of our colleagues during this difficult time. The governor also weighing in with a tweet that says, "Our hearts go out to the workers in Oconomowoc whose lives were taken by gun violence today. Kathy and I are thinking of them, their friends, their family members, and all those affected by this tragedy." And this tragedy coming after an already difficult and trying year for food supply chain workers.
Many of us we didn't realize how it was going to impact our communities. Every one of those teamsters out there stepped up and made sure that we were able to service our communities with the essential needs.
And I also spoke to the Oconomowoc police earlier today. Officials there say they don't expect any more information about the victims to be released today. Live in Oconomowoc, Sarah McGrew, TMJ4 News.
All right, Sarah, thank you. Let's get out to Mary Jo Ola. She is live in Wauwatosa, where law enforcement say the suspect lived. Mary Jo, what's the scene there?
Steve, police have since left early this afternoon after executing that search warrant. But at this point, sources tell us that suspect is Frayron Cornelius. He was 41 years old and owned a home here on this stretch of 124th Street near Wauwatosa and Elm Grove. He was around his employee. When I talked with neighbors in the area, they say they were surprised to find out why police were at the house.
An early morning car crash at 92nd and Townsend in Milwaukee was loud enough to make this man run downstairs to see what happened. He says he saw several officers outside.
I watched the individual get out and on their knees, and then we heard a gunshot and he just bent over.
Police say the man, who we now know was Frayron Cornelius, shot himself after a pursuit. Kenny Pete lives near the crash site and says he got an early morning call not to come into work at the ROUNDY'S distribution center.
Just sad, man. It just happened so close to home and where you work at. It's just sad.
A few miles away, investigators executed a search warrant at Cornelius's home on 124th Street. Wauwatosa police would only say they are assisting the Waukesha County Sheriff's Department. Neighbors didn't know Cornelius's name, but say they never had any issues and he kept to himself. Some would help him out with yard work.
Never really seemed too off to me. I never would have expected that.
They've been cordial to us. We've never had any issues with them. We say hi, if they're as we come and go.
They just seem like good people dedicated to having their mother live at home in her older years.
Cornelius does not appear to have a criminal history in Wisconsin. The Waukesha County Sheriff's Department plans to hold a news conference tomorrow morning. In Wauwatosa, Mary Jo at TMJ4 News.
Mary Jo, thank you. Dozens of people are killed at work each year in Wisconsin. Going inside the numbers, data from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics finds in 2018, the most recent year statistics are available, 114 people were killed while on the job. Violence and other injuries by persons or animals was the third most frequent fatal work event with 15 deaths. The most frequent was from transportation incidents, followed by contact with objects and equipment.